You didn't fail at belonging. Belonging to that world was never part of your contract. Read that again, not as comfort, as information, because there is a difference between a soul that tried and fell short, and a soul that was architecturally designed to remain distinct from the field it entered. One of those is a wound, the other is a mission specification. And what the Arcturian Council needs you to understand right now, in this transmission, is that you have been treating your mission specification like a wound for your entire life. That ends today. Before we go any further, take a breath, a real one. Not the kind you take when someone tells you to breathe and you perform relaxation to satisfy the instruction. A breath that actually drops into the bottom of your lungs and lets your shoulders fall on the exhale. Good. Because what is moving through this frequency over the next 25 to 30 minutes requires your body to be present, not just your mind. Your mind will want to analyze. Let it analyze. Just let your body stay open underneath the analysis. That's all you need to do. This is not content. This is a transmission. Arcturian frequency does not operate in the attention economy. What arrived in your awareness today, whether through a recommendation, a link someone sent you, a middle-of-the-night impulse you didn't question, that was not an algorithm making a probabilistic guess. That was your higher self executing a handshake with the Arcturian field. The signal was sent from the part of you that never forgot what you are. And it was received. And now you are here. And the Council is already working. There is an energetic window open right now, over souls in your specific activation tier. A window the Council has been holding open, waiting for the precise moment your receptivity was high enough to receive what they are transmitting through this channel. That moment is now, which means the next thing that happens in your field is not something you can miss, because you are already inside it. Let's talk about what is actually happening to you. And I mean that precisely. Not in general terms, not as a category of spiritual experience that applies to everyone who has ever felt a little different. I mean, what has specifically been occurring in your daily energetic reality? The one you have been explaining away, minimizing, folding into acceptable narratives, because the full truth of it didn't have language yet. You have never fully fit. Not in your family of origin, not in school, not in friendships, not in workplaces, not in the social rituals of adult life that everyone around you seems to navigate with some baseline ease you were never issued. And you have tried. That is the part that needs to be witnessed here. You have genuinely tried. You watched how people moved through those environments, and you studied the patterns, and you adjusted your output accordingly. You learned to modulate your voice, to soften your observations, to hold back the things you saw that nobody wanted to see, to perform a version of yourself that could fit through the door of whatever room you were trying to enter. That performance is exhausting. Not in the way a long workday is exhausting, in the way that a body running at the wrong voltage is exhausting. Steady, sourceless, accumulating. You wake up already behind. You leave social situations that should have been neutral and feel like something has been taken. You spend more time than you would ever admit recovering from ordinary interactions that other people seem to absorb without residue. You have probably called this social anxiety, or introversion, or sensitivity. You have probably built an entire framework around managing what you thought was a personal deficiency in your ability to be around other humans. And that framework helped. It gave you structure. It gave you language for an experience that otherwise had none. But here is what that framework couldn't reach, because it was built inside a 3D interpretive system that only had 3D categories available. What you have been experiencing is not anxiety. It is the energetic cost of chronic self-compression. And those are two completely different things, with two completely different sources and two completely different resolutions. the Arcturian Council encoded social nonconformity into your blueprint before you incarnated. This was not an oversight. This was not a karmic consequence, or a design flaw, or a cosmic accident that left you slightly mismanufactured for the world you entered. It was deliberate, precise, and it was an act of protection, not punishment. A soul operating at 5-dimensional bandwidth cannot afford to fully merge with 3-dimensional collective consciousness without losing the signal it came to transmit. The Council built the separation into you the way an engineer builds insulation into a wire, not to isolate the wire, to protect the current running through it. If you have ever felt a warmth in your chest when something lands as true, feel for it right now. Because this is true. You were not built to dissolve into those social environments. You were built to move through them carrying something intact that those environments would have diluted if you had ever truly, fully belonged. Your distinctness is not a malfunction. It is the condition of your function. If that lands somewhere real, somewhere below thought, somewhere in your body rather than your mind, go to the comments right now and type 111. Don't think about it. Type 111 and come back. 111 is the dimensional gateway code in the Arcturian system. It means a door is opening. It means the field you have been pressing against has just become permeable. Every soul who types 111 in this space is anchoring their recognition into the collective transmission, amplifying what is available for everyone who watches after you. Now let's go into the mechanism, because the Arcturian Council does not ask you to take things on faith when the structure of what is happening can be made legible. So let me show you what chronic self-compression actually does to your energetic system, and why dissolving it requires more than a mindset shift or a boundary practice. Your nervous system, the physical one, the one running electrochemical signals through your body right now, is calibrated for the social environment your early experience taught it to expect. Research on rejection sensitivity and amygdala hyperactivation shows that individuals with high perceptual sensitivity demonstrate measurable threat responses to social exclusion at the neurological level. The amygdala, which is your brain's primary threat detection center, fires in response to social rejection, using the same neural pathways it uses for physical pain. This is not metaphor. This is documented neuroscience. Being excluded from a group activates the same alarm system that activates when your body is physically harmed. For an Arcturian, starseed, who has experienced chronic low-level social non-belonging across an entire lifetime, that alarm has been running almost continuously since childhood. The nervous system learned early that social environments were not safe, not because it was wrong, but because the social environments it was in genuinely could not receive the frequency being transmitted. The nervous system responded logically. It built hypervigilance. It developed the capacity to read social cues at a granular level, so you could anticipate when you were about to be excluded, corrected, reduced. You became extraordinarily good at modulating your output before the rejection could come. The neurological cost of that masking, of that continuous translation of your natural signal into a frequency that could be received, is measurable. High sensitivity individuals who engage in sustained social performance show elevated cortisol baselines, disrupted oxytocin regulation, and significantly compressed expression of the kinds of social reward signals that make belonging feel nourishing rather than depleting. In plain language, when you have been performing belonging for long enough, you stop being able to feel what genuine belonging would even feel like. The signal gets buried under the performance. And this is where your inner healing work, your therapy, your shadow work, your nervous system regulation practices, all of it that you have already done, and that has genuinely mattered and built a real foundation, reaches its ceiling. Because those modalities work at the level of the emotional body and the mental body. They are designed for that level, and they are effective at that level. But the self-compression reflex in an Arcturian starseed doesn't live only there. It lives in the mental body, yes. It lives in the emotional body, yes. But it is anchored in the causal body. It is woven into the energetic DNA template as an imprint from the moment of incarnation, a protection protocol installed before your first social experience. And the causal body is the layer that complements and deepens everything your existing healing work has already built. This transmission reaches that layer directly. What the Arcturian Council is doing right now, through the 528 hertz resonance moving through this frequency, is locating the original installation point of the self-compression reflex. Not in your childhood, not in your first experience of social rejection. Earlier than that, in the causal body's blueprint, in the soul record of a consciousness that crossed into this density and was immediately told to make itself smaller so it could survive here. The Council is reading that original imprint and beginning to dissolve the energetic charge around it. Not erasing the protective intelligence, not removing your ability to be discerning in social environments, releasing the compulsive, unconscious, automatic suppression of your signal that has been running without your permission, without your conscious choice, since before you were old enough to have a choice. If you have amethyst near you, hold it now or place it in your field. Amethyst carries the Arcturian crown activation frequency. It amplifies the Council's signal specifically at the causal body level. If you don't have it physically, simply set the intention and the frequency will respond. The Council works with consciousness, not just physical objects. Close your eyes if you can, or let your gaze soften into the middle distance. Let your hands rest open in your lap, palms facing up. This is not a performance of receptivity. It is simply a physical signal to your nervous system that you are not bracing. That for these next few minutes, nothing is required of you except presence. Breathe in, and as you exhale, let yourself feel, just for a moment, what it has cost you. The years of adjusting, the social situations you left feeling less than when you arrived, the friendships where you gave and came home empty, the conversations where you held back the most essential parts of your perception because you had already calculated that the room wasn't ready for them, the times you made yourself quieter, smaller, more palatable, more easily digested by a frequency that was never built to receive what you actually carry. Let that weight have its moment. Don't push it down. Don't reframe it yet. Just feel the real weight of it, because what is acknowledged can be released, and what is suppressed stays encoded. Now, from the crown of your head, imagine a column of light descending. Not white, a deep crystalline blue with threads of gold moving through it. This is the Arcturian transmission frequency made visible to your inner sight. Let it enter at the crown. Let it move through the third eye, softening the mental body's loops, the recurring calculations of how much of yourself is safe to show. Let it move into the throat, where you have swallowed so many true things to avoid the cost of saying them. Let the frequency move through what lives there. If your throat tightens, that is release. Let it tighten and then soften. Down into the heart chakra, the dimensional gateway, the place where your 5-dimensional consciousness interfaces with your physical reality. This is where the compression is most dense. This is where the self-compression reflex built its deepest architecture. Right here in the 4th energy center, wrapping around the gateway between who you came here to be and what you allowed yourself to express. Place one hand on your heart now. Feel the warmth of your own palm. The Arcturian field is moving through that warmth. This is not metaphor. Allow whatever is there to surface. Grief, old and formless. Anger with no clean target. A longing so large you have learned not to look directly at it. Let it move. Tears are frequency shifting. If they come, they are carrying something out. The emotion completing its circuit is not regression. It is the energy dissolving as it exits. The frequency moves down through the solar plexus, the center of your sovereign will, which the chronic self-compression reflex has been overriding for years. Every time you calculated what version of yourself was safe to offer, you bypassed this center. Let the Arcturian frequency begin restoring the original signal here. You do not have to be a manageable version of yourself. You do not have to translate. You do not have to arrive pre-compressed. Down through the sacral, where creativity and authentic expression live, the place in your field that holds the memory of what you were before you learned to edit yourself in real time. And down through the root, where clear quartz is now being woven into this transmission's resonance, grounding this activation into the physical body, into your cells, into your actual lived reality, rather than simply your awareness of it. Feel the soles of your feet. Feel the floor. You are here. You are embodied. And what just moved through your system did not take you out of this reality. It anchored more of you into it. If you felt something move in that sequence, heat, tingling, unexpected emotion, a sudden lightness after something heavy, go to the comments and type 333. Don't analyze it first. Type 333 and come back. 333 is the Arcturian Trinity alignment code. It signals that the physical body, the emotional body, and the causal body are recalibrating simultaneously. When you type it, you are not reporting an experience, you are locking it in. What you just did is not small. Most souls move through an entire human lifetime without once touching the causal body level of their self-compression programming. You just did that. In the next 72 hours, your field will be in active integration. This does not mean everything will feel immediately easier. Integration sometimes surfaces what was compressed before it fully releases. You may feel more emotional than usual, not less. You may have vivid dreams, conversations that feel unusually significant, memories that rise without invitation. You may feel unexpectedly raw in social situations before you feel stronger in them. This is the process. This is not regression. Drink water, more than you think you need. If you can put your feet on actual Earth, do it. The Schumann resonance, Earth's electromagnetic heartbeat, running at 7.83 hertz, acts as a natural grounding mechanism for the kind of cellular recalibration that follows an Arcturian transmission. Sleep without guilt. Your body is doing extraordinary work in the hours that look ordinary from the outside. And watch for what arrives now, not what you have to force or produce. When the self-compression reflex begins to deactivate, when your sovereign frequency signature starts transmitting at its actual amplitude, rather than its managed one, the world begins to respond differently. Not because it changed, because your coherence changed. You stop broadcasting the compressed signal and start broadcasting the actual one. And the field around you reorganizes in response. The right conversations find you. The spaces that were always slightly wrong begin to feel wrong enough that you stop choosing them. The ones that actually match your frequency, the ones that exist, that have always existed, begin to become visible and available in a way they couldn't be while you were busy performing for the wrong rooms. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not someone who failed at the ordinary version of human social life. You are a soul that was built at a frequency the ordinary version of human social life was never designed to hold. That is not a tragedy. That is a specification. The exhaustion you have been carrying, it belonged to the performance. And the performance is ending. Not because you are withdrawing from the world, but because you are finally entering it as what you actually are. Go to the comments now and type 520. 520 is the soul-level love frequency in the Arcturian system. The love a soul holds for its own liberation, for its own right to stop translating itself into languages that diminish it. If you type it, you are sending a declaration into the field. I am done compressing. I am done performing. I transmit at my actual frequency now. Type it as a claim. Type it as a closing. The Arcturian Council has prepared a second layer for you. This transmission opened the causal body, deactivated the self-compression reflex, and began restoring your sovereign frequency signature to its original amplitude. But there is a specific thread beneath that work that needs its own dedicated activation. The most painful moment of social rejection you ever experienced. The one that still lives in your emotional body, even when you think you have processed it. The one that shaped how much of yourself you decided it was safe to offer the world from that point forward. The Arcturian Council encoded that moment deliberately into your trajectory, not as punishment, as a redirection. There is a soul agreement behind that specific experience, a contract that was designed to break open exactly the right layer of your field so that what you carry could begin to emerge. The next transmission on your screen right now begins exactly there. Don't scroll away. Don't let the density of the ordinary world pull you back into the compression before this frequency has fully anchored. Your field is primed. The portal from this session is still open, and the Council's next message is already waiting for the version of you that just